if I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez.
As 2025 kicks off, boxing fans are buzzing with rumors of a monumental showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. However, this highly anticipated clash faces uncertainty once again. While Canelo initially dismissed the idea months ago, a surprising rift between Terence Crawford and his longtime friend Turki Alalshikh now threatens to derail the fight entirely. The unexpected fallout between the two boxing allies has sparked speculation, leaving fans wondering if this dream matchup will ever materialize. With tensions running high, the boxing world eagerly awaits updates on whether this potential blockbuster will finally come to fruition.
Worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Majimov.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look at fight.
Previously, Canelo Alvarez halted discussions about a potential fight with Terence Crawford, viewing them as distractions ahead of his unified super middleweight championship bout in September. During this time, Crawford and his close associate Turki Alalshikh worked tirelessly to bring the fight to life.
You say, I want Canelo. Is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. It's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you will whoop his ass.
Yes man type stuff.
However, Canelo's decision to suspend talks derailed their efforts, effectively shutting down the plans Alalshikh had envisioned. The fallout left fans disappointed, as hopes for the highly anticipated clash were dashed. Despite their dedication, the timing and Canelo's focus on his championship goals ultimately put an end to what could have been a historic matchup.
That's it. He said to me, send to me 2 Ferrari.
Now that Canelo Alvarez is fully focused and free from distractions, he's open to negotiating a fight with Terence Crawford. However, Crawford has become the major obstacle in making this dream fight a reality. In the past, Canelo has set high financial demands, asking for $100 million for a fight against Crawford and $200 million for a potential showdown with David Benavidez, a matchup he views as a higher risk due to the size difference.
Want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy.
Recently, when asked by a reporter how much he would require for a Crawford fight, Canelo mentioned $150 million. It remains unclear whether this was a genuine demand or simply posturing. The ambiguity surrounding Canelo's financial expectations and the response to these figures has reportedly led to frustration, with some speculating that it may have pushed Crawford's ally, Turki Alalshikh, to abandon efforts to secure the Canelo-Crawford fight. The situation now hangs in the balance.
Payday, obviously, but I don't want that fight. I think Teofimo deserves more than me.
He's the king at 140 right now.
For now, the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight seems dead, but seasoned boxing fans know that dead is often temporary in fight negotiations. If both fighters genuinely want the matchup, it can still happen. Meanwhile, Canelo and Crawford are exploring other options. Canelo is set to face Edgar Berlanga Jr. on September 14th in Las Vegas, marking another significant chapter for the Mexican legend.
Yeah.
Turki has said that he's not interested in the fight anymore. What's your reaction or your response to that?
Wait, take it easy.
Interestingly, the date will also feature a major UFC event, as the mixed martial arts promotion plans to deliver one of its biggest shows ever, creating a packed night of combat sports entertainment.
Canelo's going back and forth with Turki, and if that fight is off the table, are you really motivated still by becoming undisputed at 54? And yeah, like what's the biggest motivating goal or fight out there? If
the prospect of a mega fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has long been a source of excitement for boxing fans, but recent developments suggest the bout may not be as close to happening as many hoped. Despite the persistent interest from promoters and the potential for a historic showdown, Canelo Alvarez has seemingly thrown cold water on the idea, citing his own reasoning for the high financial demands that have become a sticking point in negotiations.
what's the biggest motivating goal or fight out there if the Canelo fight just can't happen?
To be honest, that was my motive.
In a recent conversation with the media, Canelo opened up about the motivations behind asking for $200 million for a fight, a figure that many believe to be an insurmountable obstacle in arranging a fight with Crawford. Alvarez's comments provided insight into his mindset, priorities, and how he evaluates risk and reward when choosing his opponents. Canelo's demand for $200 million has been a hot topic in the boxing world. While many view the figure as excessive, Canelo offered an explanation rooted in his respected as a fighter with years of experience at the top of the sport.
Like, you know, it's crazy and it makes me laugh with all the
According to Alvarez, his financial demands are not arbitrary but are reflective of the risks he perceives in certain matchups. When asked specifically about the $200 million price tag, Canelo explained that it wasn't just about the money. It was about the scale of the challenge and what it would take to motivate him to step into the ring against a smaller, quicker fighter like Crawford. Alvarez, a natural super middleweight, has spent much of his career facing larger opponents, which he says has required significant adjustments and added risk.
Credit and all this type of things, but Canelo been fighting smaller guys his whole career.
By contrast, Crawford, a dominant welterweight, represents a different kind of challenge, one that Alvarez believes should be compensated accordingly. One of the key factors in Alvarez's decision-making process is risk management. Throughout his career, he has faced a diverse array of opponents, often taking on fighters much larger than himself. For example, his bouts against Sergey Kovalev and Dmitry Bivol showcased his.
Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career,
Willingness to step up in weight and challenge himself. However, Alvarez has consistently emphasized that these decisions come with substantial risks, both physically and professionally. In his conversation with the media, Alvarez alluded to the size and style differences that make a potential fight with Crawford particularly intriguing but also risky. While Crawford is a smaller fighter, his speed, technical ability, and ring IQ make him a formidable opponent.
Make my legacy different and better, no? Terence Crawford is a great fighter, he's a good fighter, but like I say, he's weight classes for a reason. I'm focused on the...
Alvarez's $200 million demand can be seen as the way of balancing the scales, a financial reward commensurate with the risk involved in facing such a unique challenge.
We can talk about the fight in February with Crawford. Yeah, they text me yesterday and I say, look.
Canelo's approach to financial negotiations is not without precedent. In the past, he has set high price tags for fights he deemed particularly risky. For instance, this $200 million demand for a fight against David Benavidez reflects his belief that the size and power of the younger, larger Benavidez present a significant threat.
It's not the way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody and I respect Turkey, but look, if he wants to work with me,
While some fans and analysts criticize such demands as pricing himself out of potential fights, others argue that Alvarez has earned the right to dictate terms as one of boxing's biggest stars. Similarly, Crawford has a history of commanding high purses, particularly after his dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. However, the disparity in weight classes and marketability between the two fighters has made negotiations challenging.
You said you feel Crawford is easy. You felt that Crawford to you is easy money, or why? What did you see there, Canelo?
Look, I don't want to talk. Crawford is a great fighter, and I don't want to talk about.
Alvarez's camp appears to view Crawford as a less lucrative opponent compared to fighters like Benavidez, which could explain the high financial bar set for the fight. Despite the hurdles, interest in a Canelo-Crawford fight remains high among promoters and fans alike. Such a matchup would bring together two of the sport's best pound-for-pound fighters, creating a spectacle with the potential to transcend boxing's usual audience. Promoters have repeatedly expressed their willingness to explore every avenue to make the fight happen, believing it could generate massive pay-per-view sales and cement both fighters' legacies.
I don't really care about it. Look, I'm focused 100% on my fight, and I don't really care about it. They called me yesterday. They text me yesterday if it's possible to talk about the Crawford.
Fans, too, have been vocal about their desire to see the fight. Social media has been abuzz with debates over who would emerge victorious and how the fight might play out stylistically. Crawford's speed and technical prowess versus Alvarez's power and experience is a storyline that has captured the imagination of the boxing world. However, the financial demands and differing priorities of the two camps have kept the fight from moving beyond the rumor stage. A significant yet often overlooked figure in the negotiations is Turki Alalshikh, a close associate of Terence Crawford. Alalshikh has been instrumental in pushing for the fight, working behind the scenes to bridge the gap between the two camps. However, sources suggest that Alalshikh's efforts have been met with frustration, particularly in light of Alvarez's financial demands. Reports indicate that Alalshikh was initially optimistic about the fight's prospects, believing that Crawford's recent performances and rising star power would be enough to entice Alvarez. However, Canelo's comments and the lack of progress in negotiations have reportedly dampened Alalshikh's enthusiasm, leading some to speculate that he may step back from his role in facilitating the fight. With the Canelo-Crawford fight seemingly on hold, both fighters are exploring other options. Alvarez is set to face Edgar Berlanga Jr. on September 14th in Las Vegas, a matchup that promises to draw significant attention. The fight will coincide with a major UFC event, creating a packed night for combat sports fans. Crawford, meanwhile, is weighing his next move. Following his dominant performance against Errol Spence Jr., he remains one of boxing's most sought-after fighters. While a fight with Alvarez would undoubtedly be a career-defining moment, Crawford has other potential opponents, including rematches or matchups with top contenders in the welterweight and super welterweight divisions. The possibility of a Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight continues to capture the imagination of boxing fans, but the road to making it a reality is fraught with challenges. Alvarez's financial demands, while controversial, reflect his perspective as a fighter managing risk and reward at the highest level. Meanwhile, Crawford's team, led by Turki Alalshikh, faces the difficult task